All right, section one, number three. We're going to start what algebra is. In intro to algebra, we're going to have our intro to algebra. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to start with some new terms. Very quickly, we're going to go over these a little more here. All right, algebra is a language of symbols. One symbol that is frequently used is called a variable. So if someone makes $15 per hour, we all like to make money, right? You could write it in algebra as 15 times h, or 15h. It's that h is that variable that we're going to be talking about. So a variable, what is that? It is a placeholder for any value. In that last example, what was the letter H representing when we said the person makes $15 per hour? What would H be? Hour, correct. So an algebraic expression, yesterday we did numerical expressions, today is algebraic expressions, is built out of numbers and variables with one or more operations. So if an example of that would be x plus 2. So that would be having a number and a variable. So is 2x an algebraic expression? Yes, it is. Okay, so the last term you need to know is called defining a variable. So later on in the lesson, we're going to be translating verbal phrases, kind of like what we did yesterday, into an algebraic expression. And we'll have to choose a variable or a quantity for that to represent. So we can use x is probably the most popular, h for hour, d for distance, things like that. So we'll have to choose whatever we want. It doesn't actually matter, but let's say we get to choose one. So we'll get into that in a little bit. So you do need to know that mathematicians are lazy. I said that yesterday. Sadly, you don't get to be. So the letter X is the most popular that you're going to see. So X plus 2 is the most popular variable. So when it says 4h, remember that it means 4 times h. Mn would be treated as 4 times n. They just don't want to write the times symbol or the parentheses. You also have 4 over y, means 4 divided by y if you put it in on your calculator. Okay, so a big concept that you're going to use all through algebra. So for the next 4 years of your life, you're going to see this a lot. So substitution property of equality. If two quantities are equal, then one quantity can be replaced by the other in a mathematical expression. Okay, that's a lot of wordiness. So for what that means is for all numbers, if a and b, so if we say a equals b, then a may replace b. That sounds really complicated. Let's add a number in there to make that make a little bit more sense. What if I told you a equals 2? And I asked you to replace it in a mathematical expression, a plus 3. Well, because a equals 2, I can put that 2 in there for that a. So it would mean substituting the number 2 for the letter a. That's why it's the substitution property. It's because we're substituting it in there. So a equals 3. I substitute 2 for that. It's going to go to 2 plus 3. That we can evaluate. Just like yesterday, 2 plus 3 is 5. So after we evaluate that, it would be 5. Okay, so now we're going to do some substituting. So evaluate x minus y plus 6 if x equals 27 and y equals 12. So I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace, I'm going to put 27 in for x, 12 for y. So here's the 27, here's the 12. They work sideways for some stupid reason. That's okay, we'll keep going. So 27 minus 12 plus 6. Well, I would just say punch that into your calculator and get it, because that's what most of you are going to do. But you do want to go from left to right. So 27 minus 12 is going to be 15. 15 plus 6 is going to be 21. My answer will be 21. Remember, in our homework, I want that check mark. Okay, same concept. You're going to substitute 7 for A and B for 11 for B, and you're going to evaluate it. Go. Okay, punching these in here. I'm going to go 12 plus, see, A is 7 minus 11. Evaluate from left to right. 12 plus 7 is 19 minus 11. Bring that down. 19 minus 11 is going to be 8. Keep rolling here. All right, so now we're going to add some multiplication in on this. So evaluate 6y minus 4x if x equals 3, y equals 4, and z equals 7. Now, they've done something tricky here on you. Remember 2 days ago when we had make sure you check how much information you have and if there might be some extra information. This one is not needed because there is no variable z over here. So we're just going to substitute those in. So we're going to take x for 3. Our x goes here. Our y goes here. Then we're going to evaluate. Do the multiplication first. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12. 24 minus 12 is 12. Our answer is 12. Okay, we're going to put this in now. Now we're actually going to use that z. So x, first thing we do is substitute them in. So they want to rewrite it. That's okay. Let's see, this is more like a calculator. I like this better, but if you're punching into your calculator, this is a little easier, I guess. So they first want you to rewrite it as a division expression or a calculator expression. Then we're going to substitute in. We take z, put that there, put this in for y, put this in for x. Okay, now I'm going to do, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, 7 minus 3 is going to go first. Gives me 4 divided by 4, which comes out to 1. All right, try these, pause it. You're going to answer them on the right. All right, so let's pop that over here. If I'm going to have to substitute in first. So 5 times 6 minus 3. Let's see, m is 9. That's how you set that up. Multiply, then subtract. Comes out to 3. We're going to set this one up down here. M is 9 times n is 4 over p is 6. Punch those in. It's going to come out to 6. All right, we'll actually do this one here for us. So p is 6 plus 8 times 4. Make that brackets. I'm going to do it that way. 8 times 4 minus 3 times n, or times m is 9. All right, 8 times 4 is 1632. Minus 3 times 3 is 27 in my brackets here. Bring my 6 down. 32 there is going to be 5. So 6 plus 5 is 11. All right, keeping going. We're going to translate this phrase. This will be the second half of your homework or your classwork. Woohoo! Translate this phrase into an algebraic expression. 35 more than the number of tickets sold. So 35 more than the number of tickets sold is the words. The variable, we have to assign a variable. So we're going to make t be the number of tickets sold. So 35 more than the number of tickets sold. So 35, I love this part. Now we're going to go 35, we're going to put more than would be add, and then the number of tickets sold, t. 35 plus t. So the expression for this is going to be 35 plus t. Okay, translate this one into an algebraic expression. It's the difference of 6 times a number and 10. Okay, so we got the words. We got to figure out what the variable is. So with a number, we're just going to use n for that. So we're going to spread it out. The difference between 6 times a number and 10. So this difference is going to be subtract between the two. 6 times a number, 6n. Say that's using a 6 times n. Remember, then we get to be lazy mathematicians there. And 10. So 6n minus 10. That's how that one's going to work out. All right, try these in your notes. Answer them on the right. Go. Okay, so I got my words. I'm going to use a number, so I'm going to make that an n. 8 less than the number of cookies. 8 less than the number of cookies baked. So I'm at n is probably going to be on the left, so the number of cookies baked minus would be less than and 8. So that doesn't quite work. We're actually going to have to swap these. So the number of cookies baked minus 8. Oh, they use C. That's fine too. C or N. They liked cookies. I probably should have thought of that because I like cookies. All right, letter B. The sum of 12 and 5 times a number. So the sum means I'm going to add these together of 12 and 5 times a number. So a number, I'm just going to use n, 5 times. 5 times a number. So I'm actually going to swap these around here. So I'm going to go 5 times a number plus 12. If they did the same. Oh, they left it there. That's fine too. You can do either direction there. So you could have just gone 12 plus 5n. Either one works. 12 plus 5n, sorry. And that's it. Make sure you turn in your notes on Schoology. And so take pictures of them, turn them in on there, and then bring them to class because I don't give you your homework until I see the notes in person, not online. See you tomorrow.